If you ask me, prison is gay. Jail is gay for stupid people with low IQ. I want to let people know the mindset of what I'm trying to promote here. I want to turn boy into man. That's why we're pushing this gloves up, guns down movement. We're pushing death before dishonor.
Habang gigil sila sa brut-brut pao, eto chill lang nakapisay. Habang gigil sila sa brut-brut pao, eto chill lang nakapisay.
What up, loved ones? What it do? Spotty Young right here. You know where I'm from. Thanks for tuning in. And if you're into real shit only, watch this video. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Check it out, man. I want to take this opportunity right now to basically speak my truth and shit, man, you know, and show my love and respect to everybody, to all my supporters, to all my day ones, to all my loved ones that believed in me since the beginning of Patty Young and shit, man. We came a long way. And of course, to the people that was pretending to be my friends or my homie, but saw that I came up and couldn't believe I came this far and somehow changed up for me, it's all good. It's all, you know what I mean? It's all part of the process. So I still appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate everybody. Shit. Even the trolls, they have their hate towards me for whatever reason. You guys help the algorithm too. So, you know what I mean? It's all good and shit, man. So check it out, check it out. So this specific video right here is basically like a recap to the new supporters out there who don't know what the fuck is going on, what's going on right here and shit, man. Just a quick reminder. My main purpose is to bring and make having honor cool, having a principle a cool thing, being a man a cool thing, you know what I mean? That's why I came up. It was the right decision for me to troll the white boy, Wes Watson and shit in the beginning of my career as a prison YouTube channel and shit, man, you know? And it worked. I was trolling him, made him feel emotional to the point where he responded back. You know what I mean? It was the right thing to do because now we see him clearly that he was just a fake fucking, you know, people is getting exposed by everybody that he's just like a fake ass gangster and shit, man. So here I am speaking my point of view, which is real gangster, which is fake gangster, which are actors, which are the real ones. And that's why I want to emphasize my love and respect to the real ones, because they're the ones that fuck with me. It's the 1% of the world and shit, man. But let me elaborate why though. If you notice, to those who know, if you notice this for Wes Watson, just like a couple of weeks ago, he came up with this video about professional fighters are pussies and evil is stronger than good, and evil will beat good, and it's all about being a piece of shit. You know, these people, gangsters are evil, are violent. They don't, you know what I mean? Professionals are just pussy. But it's just, you know what I mean? It's being delusional. He's just trying to get a reaction. He's just trying to get most people, because most people agree with him that you know what I mean, that they think that professional fighters or honorable people like me are not capable of being evil. You know what I mean? So he's promoting dishonor before death. But I'm promoting death before dishonor. Is a complete total opposite. So you know what I mean? You know, hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from and shit, man. And just to make you understand some more, I'm gonna share my story again, just like a quick brief of where I'm coming from and shit, man. You know, so as an Asian doing time in the California prison, it's not as easy as you can say, because you have to do your time outnumbered. So every day, imagine going to the day room, you're outnumbered. Imagine going to the prison yard, you're outnumbered. 100 to 1, 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 30 to 1. You know what I mean? So I was able to adapt the most competitive mindset possible. The way of the warrior way, you know what I mean? All kinds, like whatever, the most competitive mindset you can think of. That's what me and the homies had to go through every day. We have to look around because if a racial riot happens, the numbers, the odds are against us always, every day. We have to live that way. I had to live that way for 13 years, man. I don't think you understand. There's a reason why. There's a reason why some people would say that, you know, joining as outsiders, they call it a safe sider because they have the numbers. Yes, they go through their own thing. Yes, they have their own dictatorship program. You know what I mean? But it's not that simple because you have a lot of other races speaking up on the Asian Islander, the other car, like they know, but they don't know because they're not. How would you know if you're not Asian like me doing time as an Asian Islander? It doesn't fucking make sense. So here it is. There's only a few individuals like us, like me, for the Asians representing Asian Islander car, the other car, that's qualified to talk about it. You know what I mean? And that's basically me. I've been doing this for 5 years right here, Pare Young and shit, man. Ever since I made Pare Young YouTube channel, there's not one person that had came up or came out of nowhere to debunk or discredit. Nobody. Yes, you're gonna have thousands of trolls, faceless trolls coming up. Oh, fuck youngster, fuck Pare Young. But those are trolls. I'm talking about like a real person coming out, talking about, trying to debunk my credibility. There's no such thing. It doesn't exist because, you know what I mean? I'm since birth, you know what I mean? And this is what I'm trying to talk about. So anyways, to those that are new to the channel, to my new supporters and shit, man, quick story. I was already gang banging Jeff Rock's gang. It's a Filipino gang in West LA, Santa Monica and Western. That's my hood, that's my barrio, that's my neighborhood. You know, I was taught by my older homies, my OG homies. They gave us a lot of guns. This is your enemies. This is your hood. You have to shoot these people. You have to hurt these people. This and that. And that's what me and the homies had to go through. So, fast forward 3 years later, I caught a 14 years and 2 strike sentence in the California prison system and shit, man. So at 15, they have to send me to juvenile hall first, Silmar Juvenile Hall to be exact. And then I had this little man complex, like I was a skinny Asian guy and shit, man. In prison, in jail is the real deal. There's no more guns, there's no more knives. You have to fight like a man. You have to be a real gangster now, you know, you have to be a real man now. You have to face your fears. There's no more hiding. That's what I had to go through. And I was forced to do push-ups. I had never done no push-ups on the streets. I was forced to do push-ups. And if you're in prison as an Asian or somebody that's small and skinny, it's just a disadvantage for you, dog. You know, like you better get big. You better do some push-ups. Better get strong. Make sure your punches, your kicks are strong enough to hurt your enemies, man. Or else you just gonna get fucked over. You just get packed out all the time. And for a whole year in juvenile hall, I had to fight everybody, my own peoples, because in juvenile hall there's gang banging, so I had to fight my own pares, my own Filipinos. I had to fight Asians, Cambodians, Vietnamese, Lao, everybody, man. I had to fight all the blacks. I had to fight all the Mexicans, Soreños. You know, I have to fight white folks too, Woods and shit, man. Basically everybody to survive, because in jail, the only way you're gonna earn your respect as a man is if you fight. You can't back down. People can't smell your fear. You just have to fight for your life. And you not just only fight, you got to win fights too to earn respect. That's how it works right there in America and in the California prison system. And then after I got sentenced in juvenile hall, 2004, I believe, I went to CYA. And the struggle continued, man, of being outnumbered, being an Asian. You know, basically, I still had to fight my own people, because in CYA, California Youth Authority, is a prison for the little kids, for the people that are getting sentenced to juvenile life. You know, I had to go there, so I had to play their games. I had to play the CYA games. I have fought so many people there, shit, man. Like over 100 fights in the opens, in the blinds. Had like 9 riots and shit, all outnumbered. I remember all of this. And most of the time, there's never like a fair riot or a fair, you know, fight where, you know, I'm always outnumbered. People are always bigger than me for whatever reason and shit, man, you know. And this is the mindset that I had to survive with doing time as an Asian. I remember just uh, me by myself, fighting like three Southsiders, three essays and shit, man, trying to survive. And then we have racial riots where, by the way, to those who don't know, during that time, 2004, in Stockton, California, OH closed facility, the gang politic right there was the Asian Pride car was allies with the Norteño. So it was just like that. I came in there, and that was just the rules that I had to abide by. This the gang rules. Everybody abides by this, or else get dropped out like a PC, like a Leva and shit. But that was never an option for me. I cared about my reputation. I cared about my character and shit, man. I was just raised that way by my parents, I guess. I don't know, but you know, just imagine the Norte was outnumbered by the South side, by the Soreño. So every time the Soreño had to smash on the Norte, the Asian Pride, few handful of us have to jump in, and then have to help the Norte, and then the Soreño was also allied with the Bulldogs, so they had more numbers. You know what I mean? It's not the odds are against you and shit, man. But the people that I did time with, they know the people that had to fight, the people with shit that I had to do to fucking survive and shit, man. The mindset, the mentality is different. I came a long way from what I am right now. You know what I mean? We had the homies. What do you call this? From what I know, shout out to Blue Dog, Asian Crip, San Diego. He's a pare. He's half black. I thought I was there with Pigeon from MBS. I thought he was a homie, but he's a piece of shit because supposedly he's talking shit behind my back, but he's a dropout now and shit, man. He was there. We was in a riot together. Shout out to the homie Short Dog from Fresno, Asian Crip. He was there. This is the people that I remember and shit from the top of my head. And my boy from the hood, Stranger, from Jeff Rocks, from Barrio Jeff Rocks, he was there. But at the time, he was riding with the South Side and shit. He was riding Soreño. So the funny thing is, when I used to fight a Soreño, the next day at school, the homie Stranger from the hood would fight the same Soreño that I fought with. And then when the homie Stranger would fight the Norte, vice versa, the same day I would look for the same Norte that he fought with. Then I'm gonna get his run backs. It's weird, man, but you know what I mean? So I know the whole thing. I pretty much know the mindset of everybody, So I'm not like, what do you call this? I'm not saying that I'm higher than everybody else, or I'm shitting on people that are not Asian Pride or chose to, because I understand this kind of thing. I understand how it works. I was in the system for 13 years and shit, man. You know what I mean? So that was my story. Going back in CYA, I was there for 2 years. Then I finally turned 18. They had to send me to the Pinta and shit, man, to the real prison, CDCR. So I went in there, and then fast forward, I was still stuck on the gangbanging mindset. It was Jeff Rocks versus everybody. It was basically everybody killer like it was on the streets. But then I was sentenced to 13 years, and then I had to face reality because I was what do you call this, in denial at first, like, oh, they're gonna let me out, they're gonna feel sorry for me, you know what I mean? They're gonna basically, I was expecting mercy from people and shit, man. It was just, I guess, part of the Filipino culture where somebody's just gonna feel sorry for you. But immediately I was laced up at the OG Pares in Pelican Bay. That was my first mainline prison, B yard, and then I went to A yard. The Pares that I that I was there, I was with, was Mang Johnny Osayas, one of the OG pare. You got Pare Ray from San Jose, Stockton. You got Pare Gabe from Daly City, I think. I forgot. Vallejo. Uh, damn, there was a lot of pares in this shit. Sinbad from TBS, LA. My homeboy, Amboy from the hoodie from Jeff Rocks. RPB, Tone. He was a half black, half pare, half Pinoy. You know what I mean? Shit, there's a lot of pares in there too. But mind you, in prison, the Asian and Islander car, which is called the other car, from what the police call our car, but the OG homies, they don't like to be called others. So those who don't know, because others, what the fuck is others and shit, man? You know what I mean? Just because we outnumber, just others, there's everybody and shit. Nah, really is the Asian and Islander car. But that's where the older homies are coming from, because they're the ones that basically lay down their life for a little piece of real estate in the yard, for the table, for the workout area. You know what I mean? For respect, for us to use the phone. For everybody to respect the Asian Islander car, they have to lay their life down. They have to trade their life. They have to put in work. They have to actually win racial rights. So imagine doing your time as an Asian like me every day for 13 years, from 2003 to 2016. You have to go to the day room, and the numbers are always against you. It's always a 10-to-1 numbers ratio, 20-to-1. You go to the yard, there's about like 20 homies. They got like 300 Southsiders. They got like 200 blacks, several woods, about almost the same. They got a lot of woods too. So just imagine that. Just imagine doing time as an Asian. What kind of mindset do you have to adapt to, that you need in order for you to survive? And the mindset that me and the homies had to adapt to was the most competitive mindset. You know, we practiced the warrior way. We were living our life the way of the warrior. We believed that in our heart, the most honorable death, the only honorable death, is through the battlefield, is through war. You know what I mean? We have the kamikaze fucking mindset and shit, bro. Like, we have to be super, super gangster, super hardcore, more hardcore than everybody else. That was the mindset we had to go through, because we was outnumbered and shit, bro. You know, that's how it works. And we were functioning through our reputation. The Asian Islander car had this reputation where we don't basically tolerate stupidity. We don't tolerate dolphins. You know, we get them off the yard, or we pay for their debt. Some of the homies, they rich, like, you know what I mean, like like the Chinese homies, some of the Korean homies. You got some rich pare homies too, but some of the other Asian homies are more richer than the others. So, for example, if a Chinese person was in debt, the Chinese folks have to either pay their debts or get them out the yard through work, through this, if you know what I mean. That's the only way. Or, for example, there's a pare that's owes a lot of debt in the yard, thousands of dollars of debt, and then a pare, another Pinoy, has to either pay his debt or get him off the yard. It's called retribution. That's how that works. That's how we clean our car. There's no snitches allowed. You know, we just have that death before dishonor mindset. That's why all these people, Wes Watson and everybody else, is talking about dishonor before death. Bitch shit, man. Everybody that believes that guy, everybody that's a fan of that guy, is also a bitch. But real quick, before I get out too far, before I forget, I just want to make sure also that those people that are making videos about Wes Watson, trolling him, disrespecting Wes Watson, but are not capable or are not man enough to fight Wes Watson one-on-one to the death, prison style, shall not have the right to troll him, to disrespect him in the first place. You know, to all the civilians, to the nerds out there making videos about Wes Watson and shit, trolling him, but are not a man enough to fight him one-on-one. You're the problem also. You're the same. Just like Wes Watson. You're also a bitch. So I don't support that. You know what I mean? I get to troll. I get to disrespect people that I want to because I still go by the code. I'm still willing to fight prison style. You know what I mean? One-on-one, like a man, like a gangster to the death. So if you don't feel the same way, then you should not be allowed. You should not have the right to be a troll, to disrespect anybody, period. Because I don't promote disrespecting people, but I do promote fighting for good and disrespecting evil. I disrespect evil all day. You know what I mean? This just if you're with me from the channel from the get-go, you know the business. So going back to my story and shit, man. We just had to adapt to the mindset on the yard, man. You know, like in our car, Asian Islander car, like I said, man, you cannot be a snitch. You cannot be a sex offender. Anything that has to do with you know, even if you have a girlfriend that's a minor, that's also considered a sex offender. You're gonna get this out the yard, a mandatory basis. The Asian Islander don't tolerate that. There's just no pussies allowed, man. You know, just not allowed this shit. And mind you, you're going to get tested. There's no going around about it. You're gonna get hard checked by the OGs. They're gonna test your ass. They're gonna see where you're coming from. They want to know if you're gonna snitch. They want to know if you're a bitch. This is what I have to go to survive, man, for 13 years. And the whole time that I was doing my time, I made sure that I had a good reputation, that the homies can count on me. You know, the name that I was carrying was Youngster. From Jeff Rocks, the hood, the barrio the street gang that I was carrying was Jeff Rocks. Of course, I'm carrying the whole Philippines on my back. It's a Pinoy thing. So the warrior mindset that I was explaining to you about earlier and shit, us, the Asian, having to adapt to the most competitive mindset, everybody was doing the same thing. You know, the Mexicans, the Southsiders, or the Nortes, or I don't know, maybe the Bulldogs also, a lot of them are getting Aztecs, warriors. They're getting deep into their race, into their roots of their peoples, or what they are, or what they really are and shit, man. And you got the WHUDDs, you know, skinheads, Nazis. They getting into the Vikings. They getting into the Nazi thing. You know, whatever mindset that's gonna help them become a gangster, become a man and shit. And you got the what they got? You got the black folks. You know, they got the African warriors and shit, man. You know, BGF. You know, Crips and Bloods, Bay Area, everybody. Hoover Crims. And then what else they got? They got the Paisas, of course. You know, they're doing the Mexican flag. The Aztec warriors, that's what they are. It's weird. It's all about your people. It's all about your race. The Chinese, what they got? Of course, they got Bruce Lee. You know, fucks with Bruce Lee. The Chinese, what they got, man? They got a lot of warriors, man. The Chinese basically wrote the book on how to fight, on the art of war. It's written by the Chinese, by the Asians. Japanese, they got their own thing, you know. Samurai warriors. You got the Koreans. They also got samurais. You know what I mean? Shit, the Hmong, Mien, Lahu, Lao Pride. They got the elephant. The Khmer, they got the elephant also, I think. damn, I don't know. My bad if I forgot something and shit, man. But you know, the Fijians, Hawaiians, Samoans, Tongans, everybody and shit, bro. You know, it's your pride, it's your people. This was the mindset we have to go through. So, you know what I mean? I'm not shitting on anybody, you know. I'm not judging, like, you know, if you're a Filipino, if you're an Asian and you decided to give your life or to ride with another car, with the Soreño, with the Mexican Mafia, or with the Norteño, or with the Bulldogs. You know what I mean? Because I've seen it all for 13 years. I've seen it all. So one time there was a pare. There was a pare. I've seen him. This was in Calipatria B Yard, 2010, I believe. He was a straight pare, man. You just everything about him. I seen him coming to the block. I think this was 4 block. So I seen him going to the Soreño sale. I was like, what the fuck? Damn, you know, we get happy, we get excited when you see another Filipino, because there's not a lot of us. We want to speak Tagalog, we want to speak our language, you want to talk to somebody with the same culture. This is how it is in prison, man. That's how I felt. So on the yard, I chopped it up with it. Hey, what's up? Hey, you a para? You Filipino? Yeah. What happened? Hey, let me holler at you. And then his name was Eric de la Cruz. They call him PacMan. You know what I mean? I said, hey, why you over there with the south side, with the Soreño, bro? Like, what the fuck? You Pinoy, right? Yeah, but on the county, I chose them. And then there was a racial riot in the county. I joined them. I'm with them now, you know what I mean? And then in my head, it's like, damn, can't you, like, you know what I mean? Can't you just, like, let them know and shit? But according to the gang code, according to the prison gang code, it's over with, bro. Like, you know what I mean? If you're in the county and then you chose to ride with the Soreño, you go to prison mainline, you have to ride with them. It's just special circumstances where, what I've mentioned before, in Kern Valley, where Joker from Lennox 13 was riding with the Mexican Mafia but came home to the Asian Islander car. That's because he already earned it. They already trusted him. They already had so much respect. He already put so much fucking work for the Mexican Mafia that when he decided to tell them that I want to go home to my Islander, to my Asian Islander people, they let him go. They let him go home. Those are special circumstances. But the pare PacMan that I'm telling you about, Eric de la Cruz, even though he was riding with a Soreño, I fucking, you know, the Pinoy in me, I embraced him, man, you know. Even if something happens on the fucking yard, he's probably like the last person that I would fight or go to and shit, man. It's my own personal thing. I don't know how everybody feels, but you know what I mean? That's just me, because he's showing me love. Like, for example, in your car, if you get a package, the package that you have, you're supposed to give some food or care packages to the people that you fuck with. You know what I mean? Like me, for example, I'm gonna give a care package to like, for example, I fuck with the Koreans, I fuck with the Chinese, I fuck with the Japanese, whatever. I'm gonna give them something, because when their package comes, vice versa, they gave me something too. That's just how that works. You know what I mean? But you don't give somebody something out of their race. But the pare, PacMan de la Cruz, Eric de la Cruz, this fool, when he gets his package, even though there's a lot of thousands of Soreños, he makes sure he gives me a good fucking amount of, it shows me a lot of love, bro. He gives me packages, man. You know what I mean? He's a pare at heart. He's a Pinoy at heart. He wants to go home to our peoples, but he doesn't know he's a civilian. He's just a regular person. He's not a gang member and shit. You know what I mean? So basically, that's what happens and shit, man. He just got stuck in the area, but I don't have any hate towards him, you know. So I want to give y'all a warning. If you're Asian, and then you go to a county jail, LA County Jail, and then, you know, it's either the black or the Mexicans gonna come up to you. Hey, check it out, man, motherfucker, you gotta choose only Mexican or black. There's no other option. You let them know I'm not gonna choose any of that. I'm gonna ride by myself. I'm gonna wait for another Asian. If there's nobody, then I'll be by myself. You know what I mean? Just like what the homie Jumper from Jeff Rocks did. You know, they were making him choose Mexican or black. He chose, I'm by myself, fuck it. I'm gonna ride with, I'm gonna wait for somebody. I'm gonna wait for another Asian. I'm gonna wait for another Pinoy. You know what I mean? So, well, it's up to you. But if you wanna ride with Crips or Bloods or Sureño, whatever the fuck you want, it's up to you, dog. You know what I mean? It's your own choice. I'm letting you know, letting people know where I'm coming from, doing time as an Asian. Because from my experience in doing 13 years in the prison system and shit, man, if you're not Mexican, bro, you're gonna have to prove yourself more just based on your Asian. And you're riding Mexican Mafia, you're riding Sureño, you're riding Southside. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to prove yourself more because you're not Mexican, bro. It's not just how it is. For example, you're a white person and then you wanna ride the Crip or Hoover Criminals or whatever the fuck. You wanna ride black. You're gonna have to prove yourself more because you're not even black in the first place. That's just how that works. California prison system is a racial place and shit, man. You know what I mean? It's a racial segregation. It was just designed that way. It's all about your peoples. Your gangs, your street gangs, whatever the fuck your street gangs, your barrio in the streets, it don't mean nothing, bro. You know what I mean? It just don't mean shit. So, basically where I'm coming from is I want to let the whole world, from my point of view, from the Asian Islander cars point of view, how does it work doing time as an Asian? Just imagine yourself being outnumbered. Just imagine yourself, you have to adapt to the most competitive mindset there is. You know what I mean? And it's up to you. It's up to you what choices you want. But if you ask me, prison is gay. Jail is gay for stupid people with low IQ. You know what I mean? I was 15 years old, young, dumb, and full of cum. I wanted to prove myself. I came into the police station. I was bragging about my street gang, you know, snitching on myself, getting add on another 10 years gang enhancement, gun enhancement, when I could have been smarter and said, I don't gangbang. Then I could have just got 4 years instead of a 14-year sentence and shit. Think about it, dog. You know what I mean? So, anyways, what I'm trying to say is, this is where I'm coming from. I want to let people know the mindset of what I'm trying to promote here. You know what I mean? I want to turn boy into man. That's why we're pushing this gloves up, guns down movement. You know, if you don't know, I'm going to say it again. We're pushing death before dishonor. We're not like the white boy Wes Watson pushing dishonor before death. Those are bitches. We're not trying to be a bitch. We're trying to be honorable. We're trying to be a man. I want to make it cool for a man to have principle. You know what I mean? Not like snitch nine. You know, nowadays this world is getting crazy and crazier. You can see it in your own eyes. People do not fear God anymore. Everybody's get comfortable disrespecting people online with no consequences. You know, they're not, back then, if you disrespect somebody, you're gonna get punched in the mouth, you're gonna lose some teeth, you're gonna break bones, you might end up even losing your life disrespect somebody. Nowadays it's just all queers and it's free disrespectful, like, you know what I mean, no consequences, online trolls. That's not what I'm trying to promote. That's why we're gonna push this gloves up, guns down. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have like a street beefs for gang members, for gangsters. We're gonna get people where if he wants to fight somebody on an honorable way, not from the back, none of that stupid shit. You know what I mean? Man to man, like how it is from back in the days. That's what we're doing. So if you want to support the channel, just, you know what I mean, keep fucking with your boy, man. So like I said from the beginning, this video is for all my day ones, my supporters, the real OGs, the real people that fuck with me, the people that understand, real, recognize real. I love y'all, man. This is for you. I'm still here, getting better and better, stronger, better every day, mind, body, and soul. You know what I mean? And watch out, we still got a lot in store and shit, man. You know what I mean? If you got any questions or anything, just get at your boy directly. Instagram, Para Young, YouTube, whatever and shit, man. I'm gonna respond back. And with that being said, y'all know what time it is. Say what you mean and mean what you say, because real recognize real, homeboy. I'm out of here. Boom.